Welcome to Stuck, Time to Improv. I'm Mary Scott with Business Riff, and I want startups to be wildly successful. We're going to talk about unique challenges for engineers who want to be entrepreneurs. And today, our guest is Richard Bowling from MicroPod Global Engineer Entrepreneur Academy. Thanks for coming, Richard.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me here. Great to be here.
What are some of the unique challenges that engineers seem to have when they want to become entrepreneurs?
That is an excellent question. I would say the number one challenge is that they overthink the process. They have a business idea that they want to do, and they get started on the building. They get started on the building, and they're really challenged on the business development and marketing, validating that idea in the marketplace, selling it and market it. So there's a tremendous professional shift that has to happen between being an engineer who designs a product and being an engineer who sells, markets a product, and steps into the shoes of an entrepreneur. So those are a few of the challenges.
I would expect also the fun part of engineering is doing stuff and making stuff and figuring stuff
Right.
out. And when you
Hmm.
become an entrepreneur, 80% of your time is accounting, marketing, communications,
Hmm.
talking to your lawyers. Yeah, all that back office stuff. That's not so much fun, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's a big stretch professionally, thinking wise, their mindset. We work a lot on the professional development side of engineers with the mindset, dealing with uncertainty. Engineer has a lot of uncertainty. When I was an engineer, I would like make sure I made sure the answers were exactly perfect before I turned in the test, right? But as an entrepreneur, you can't do that. You got to launch. You can't wait for the
Right.
perfect answers. So
As,
it's a big shift. It's a big shift mentally.
as they say, perfect is the enemy of good.
Yes. Yeah. So and so what we do is we have a lots of small, what we call micro hacks to get them to shift from the engineering mindset into the entrepreneur mindset. So one of them is called action precedes clarity, that when you're stuck, you can have to start taking some action. You're not going to figure it out by trying to figure it out, doing lots of analysis and simulations. You've got to get out there, you know, throwing spaghetti at the wall, talking to people, getting out there, doing things that are quite ugly. Um, so action precedes clarity is something that we have them to tattoo in their brains. Another one, a very simple rule, is called the 70% rule. When you have 70% of the information, you make the decision. When your product is 70% there, your landing page, your copy of 70, you never wait until it's 100%. So those are two of the simpler hacks that we work on them with. There's a little bit more complicated ones also.
I love it. It really helps entrepreneur and really helps engineers focus in the right place. Um, Engineers often have trouble talking with people. Do you have hacks that help them feel less self-conscious, etc., when they're trying to talk to potential customers?
Well, that's a great question, because I mean this is really the first step in the business development. And I remember one particular engineer, he would not get out there and talk to customers. He would just find every way. He said, I don't want to waste the time, and I don't want it to be a failure. And he was just psychologically resistant to it. And so, yeah, I mean, yeah, we have lots of uh, personal development coaching, dealing with the psychology, dealing with the fear, dealing with the, you know, all those different issues that are coming up with getting out there and talking to people. So we definitely have some processes of doing that. It's really just coaching them on the spot. What is it that you're really afraid of? And and we give them tools to really deal with some of the mental challenges that are coming up along the way. But it's a great question. Absolutely something that they deal with.
Yeah. Would you suggest that engineers find other engineers to group together and beta test for each other?
Well, if they haven't joined a program like ours, that would be the next best thing. Yes. So you definitely don't want to do the entrepreneurial journey alone. You want to be involved in some sort of community, local community, online community, with another engineer who's building something similar to you. I think this is really important for entrepreneurship, because you're very much alone in the journey, right? And what happens is when you're alone, you get inside your head, you overthink the steps, and then your brain will start to say, well, obviously this is not working. I should give up. So, but the challenges that you're experiencing are being experienced by other people. So what you do is you join other people and you realize that you're dealing with the same challenges. Those challenges are part of the journey. You're not going wrong, and you won't know that unless you're in a group with other people. So, really, really important.
And if you can't beta test, you can't validate your idea. And if you don't validate your idea, what are you spending money on?
Right. Technically testing the product is probably it's okay. It's actually really important that that your product is solving the needs of the market. So we follow the lean startup principles, like getting out there, talking to the customers. What are the three biggest pain points that they're having? Is your product actually solving those? And make sure you do that before you go out and build this whole thing out. It could be in the wrong direction. So we follow that lean startup iteration loop. Get out there as soon as possible, even if it's not functionally working, even if you just have a mock-up or a dummy, a PDF or a landing page or something simple, just enough to communicate your idea, go ahead and validate that you're solving those basic problems, and then you can go out and build something a functional unit that or a functional POC, right? So that's really, really important step.
This has been really great. We've got some great tips for any engineer that wants to become an entrepreneur. Thanks again, Richard Bowling, for Micro
Mhm.
Global Engineer Entrepreneur Academy. And we'll put your contact information into the comments. I'm
Well,
Mary
thank you.
Scott. I'm Mary Scott with Business Roof. I want startups to be wildly successful, and one of the best things you can do to accomplish that is book a call with me at businessroof.com. And join us again next time for Stuck, Time to Improv.